Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the East Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya. Ain't anything you can do about it. Today with Coffee with Curry, we're going to talk about the election. It is over. Just a few days ago on Tuesday, the 10th of September, we had our primary elections and we made some predictions. We endorsed some people, and I want to give you a full analysis of this primary election that just occurred. Sure, this evening on the source, we're going to continue to talk about it with Kobe, but I wanted to do it personally because I raised a question. The question that I raised was, who would win? Would the grassroots or would the establishment win? I got some answers for you. Call somebody real quickly. Tell them Coffee with Curry is on, and let's get after it.
Good morning, Delaware and surrounding areas. You are now tuned in to this week's Coffee with Curry. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. with new guests every week. So grab your cup of coffee and join us on Coffee with Curry.
I'm Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these two hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility. And I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Thank you!
And we're back. Well, as you heard, there was a big question that I had raised, and I wanted to see exactly who would win. Would the grassroots movement win, or would the establishment win? And that was birthed out of the fact that the Democratic Party did something that I thought was totally unethical, and I thought it was totally unnecessary. Now they have to answer for it. It's important, Delaware, that you pay close attention to what is going on in and around you. When I looked at how many people voted, the turnout was very low, but I really needed to know who would win. I wanted to know whether the folks who are on the ground in the grassroots trying to make things happen to support the cause of various causes that we have, who would win? And I kept saying, who would be the winner? I endorsed personally several people, hoping that they would get in so that we can see a better day in Delaware as I see it. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only person who knows anything about politics, but today I'm very proud to see that Matt Myers won the Democratic primary to become the next governor for the state of Delaware. Let me just take a moment before I go too far. I'm excited. Yes, I went public with Matt because of my anger with the Democratic Party continuously trying to strong arm people. Who's next? Putting people up to run against people. And one of the things I said to Matt privately, and I'll say it publicly now, is, Matt, you've been up against the establishment before. This is nothing new. Do you and you'll win. They went and tried to find every kind of lawsuit that was filed against the county to try to pin it to him. And the Democratic Party leadership was a part of this system. We had a woman who I think, Bethany Long, Hall Long is a wonderful person. She's a nice person. I mean, she got her doctorate. She taught nursing at University of Delaware. A beautiful soul. But she had done some things that were inappropriate, or she permitted some things to happen that was just inappropriate. And what angered me was, instead of the Democratic Party saying, okay, we're just gonna let it be fair. If the people want her, let's just make it happen. But what did they do? They rallied behind her. They made sure she's next in line, regardless of her past, regardless of what she did. And they tried to overshadow Matt. But Matt kept his head to the ground and he kept working. He kept working. He kept campaigning. He kept showing up. And this is how he won, even as county exec. I'm very proud to say that the grassroots organization movement won as it relates to the governor's race for here in the state of Delaware. For all of you who watch me every week, I try to be careful because I have so many people I have to represent, so many people I have to help, so many people I have to make, get them opportunities. So I don't want to burn too many bridges, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to make sure that when I'm concerned to a high level with some of the things that is happening, I want to be able to share it and express it. And some of the people who are running around was really supporting Bethany to the level that they were supporting her, and call yourselves people who want to support the grassroots movement, you have to check your true motives. Was it money that caused some of the people who came out and just 100% in support of her? Democratic Party, I'm going to continue to talk, and I hope that, Matt has some say in who leads this party. Because for him to keep some of the people around who continues to perpetuate and have certain systems is just unacceptable. And it's just really disgusting, and it calls so many people to be turned off with politics. We have to give people the chance to vote in this democratic process. And after they have voted, then the party has to come together to support the one who all the people say they want. To have an endorsement during primary, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate leadership. And I hope you don't do it again. This is the second round. Now, third time may create a major problem. First time it was with Jack Markell, and you misread, and you failed. This time it was with Matt Myers. You misread, and you failed. Congratulations to Matt Myers, who won 46%, really 47% of the vote. He received 40,518 votes. And one of those 40,518 votes was mine. And I'm very grateful that he won, beating her. I'm not going to say about how much, but she did have 36% of the vote. The next area I want to grab hold to is, and really this is not the real order, but because, U.S. Congress should have been first, but I was anxious to make sure that I shared my disdainment with the Democratic Party for endorsing a candidate before the primary was over. But I want to say hats off and congratulations to Sarah McBride, who won 79, almost 80% of the votes for the U.S. Congresswoman. She's going to be on our show, I believe, next week or the week after. I've had some conversations with her, and I'm grateful that she have fought her fight and she ran her race. And I'm grateful that she stayed, above some of the things that could have been taxed against her. But I'm looking forward to that. So congratulations to Sarah McBride on your 80% of the vote win, 66,764 votes you received. And I think that is something that we ought to be happy about and proud about. And we're going to talk more about it when she comes to the show. The area of lieutenant government. Now, I have several things I want to share on this one. As you all know, I did endorse and I 100% still support Sherry Dorsey Walker. She received 36% of the vote, which is 31,035 votes she received. And one of those votes was my vote. And I just want to take a moment and while we will say congratulations to Kyle Evans Gay, who won that election fair and square. She wanted 48% of the vote she did get, which was 40,638 votes. But I want to say to all who are watching me, we have to be careful about people who are implants, people who plant people in to ensure that enough votes is given to somebody else. This person the people that they plant in is not expected to win. They are to campaign as if they are expected to win. But we all knew when Ms. Harrington, Dr. Harrington, whichever language is best appropriate, got into this race that she was not going to win. I know and I believe that she knew that. But her goal and the goal of those who ensured that she got in the race was to ensure that it took votes from Sherry Dorsey Walker. If you look at the tallies, Sherry received 31,035 votes. Kyle Evans Gay received 40,638 votes. Debbie Harrington, nowhere near the two, she scored 12,640 votes. Had she not been in this race, there could have been a different outcome. Had she not been in this race, there could have been a different outcome. I'm always concerned about black on black crime. I am very concerned about it. And we often think about the shootings, but this is a case of being implanted, knowing you cannot win, to stop the forces of grassroots people. I'm not gaining any favors by saying the things that I'm saying right now, but this is a classic example. It worked once again. I'm concerned to the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, how we could even let we are part of an organization called the Sisterhood and the Brotherhood. We are part of the divine group of individuals who are the elite, the educated, and I just don't understand why someone could not pull her and Sherry in the room, talk about the chances, and see how they could work together for a better outcome. I've never heard this. This just bothers me. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi. I could not fathom a frat brother, a fraternity brother running against me in a critical race that can change the trajectory of a state. A whole lot was on the line. And I say to Sherry, do not put your head down. Let's get to work. Let's figure out what's next. But this was a heartbreaker because we already knew. I'm floored. I'm concerned. I'm angered because there was no reason for her to stay in this race. Even when our good friend decided he was going to leave and not be a part of the Congress race any longer, why prolong it when you know the money is not there or really the votes are not there? We getting these things supposedly to win. There was no way she could win. She was not even known, has no real service in public service. But yet and still, she stayed in because that's the way it's supposed to be. She took enough votes away, exactly enough to hand the election to somebody else. Wrong. That is not right. And I think the sisters of of Alpha Kappa Alpha should have a serious conversation because it's a public embarrassment. I know I'm not winning any friends, but that is a public embarrassment. And how that is allowed and permitted speaks to division. And we should not have that because we're supposed to be representing the forgotten, the looked over, and the left behind. Sherry, I ask that you would please keep your head up. Let's get ready to fight for the next round. Something else is coming ready to pop out. We need your voice. We need you. This is not over. Temporary setbacks oftentimes lead to God's great comebacks. Let's figure out what's next, and we'll move forward. Moving from that race, I want to say something about a good friend, another person that I endorsed. State Representative for the 2nd District. I'm grateful that the people in the 2nd District showed by 65% of those who voted that Stephanie Bolden deserved to continue to do the work that she does. I brought her on the show many times because I began to get angry because people will put people in to try to throw you to the side. And this James person, I don't know him, but it was very evident that the people in the 2nd District wanted Stephanie Bolden. She didn't win by a little bit. She won by a landslide. And we're grateful to the 2nd District that you rehired her. You allowed her to come back. And I'm looking forward to continue to working with Stephanie because she understands the politics that happens in Dover. She understands how to give advice and bring humanity to Dover. And there's a couple of pieces of legislation she's trying to get through, and I'm going to be certainly working with her as much as I can to help her get them through, especially that election legislation that she's trying to get through. Congratulations to the 2nd District for electing Stephanie Bolden back into her seat. And I said this to her. You've been in the race before where people tried to come up against you, but not to fret because God would be with her. And God is and has been, and we are very much celebrating her. So again, our hats go off to another one of the grassroots individuals, Stephanie Bolden, and we wish you much success in the next 2 years to come. When we come back, I want to now turn our attention to another state representative race that is really a shocker. But I can tell you what the Deltas did, the AKAs should have. We'll be right back.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these two hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility. And I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Thank you.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
We need volunteers, we need mentors, and we need sponsorship. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope. Go on our website, duffyshopeinc.org, and donate that way. You can call us at 302-652-3532. We can take your payment over the phone. You can mail us a check at 100 West 10th Street, Suite number 9, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Also, you can donate your time. If you don't have money, donate your time. Come help us with the garden. Help us mentor or help be a tutor, things like that. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
Local news and politics in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. The latest headlines with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry.
But they getting rich, getting new cars, getting new houses, getting new opportunities, but the community is still getting nothing.
And co-host Kobe Owens.
And from that time, we have slowly seen our democracy become under attack.
Weekly episodes. Sundays at 5 p.m. The Source.
And we're back. Thank all of you who have joined us today for Coffee with Curry. We're doing a special edition today because we just got finished with the elections on September the 10th, which was last Tuesday. And I wanted to bring you fresh the results. And many of you already know the outcomes of all of these elections. But I wanted to do a conversation on it because there was a method to the madness. And we wanted to know whether or not the grassroots individuals or the establishment would win. And so far, it appears that the grassroots individuals are winning. And we are very grateful for that because we had the opportunity to have Matt Myers, who is going to be the next governor for the state of Delaware. We also have Sarah McBride, who's going to be the next United States Congresswoman. And then we have Sherry Dorsey Walker did not make it, and I had a very long, full conversation on that. But we're going to say congratulations to Cal Evans Gay because we don't want to be decisive for no reason at all. People do what they got to do to win, and we got to make sure that we continue to move forward. And Stephanie Bolden, who is definitely a grassroots person, she won by a landslide in her district, 65% of the vote, and we're very grateful for that. Now, let me turn your attention. I left you at the last segment talking about the AKA should have done what the Deltas did. I am again a part of the panel council, so I have the privilege and the freedom to say some of the things that I'm saying. Others who are not a part cannot. I just don't understand how we talk about our closeness and yet we do things that was done to Sherry. But the Deltas got together and there was a major upset in the last election in my district where I live at. Which is the 15th district. I'm sorry, which is the 15th district. And this just blew a lot of people's mind. The Speaker of the House. It is difficult for anyone to beat an incumbent, but to beat the Speaker of the House, man, that is major. I'm going to say congratulations to the new state representative for the 15th district, Kamala Smith, who won by 54% of the vote, beating out the Speaker of the House, which is Valerie Longhurst. There's a lot I could say on this. I'm careful only because you got to be careful because I had forewarned that sometimes power can make some people drunk. I had forewarned that we were putting people on committees that really should not be, who were out with personal vendettas, especially on that finance committee. I had forewarned, but when people don't listen, then offending one person is one thing, but to offend a whole lot of folks is another. And when people are in your district, you need to pay attention, you need to listen and not be so drunk on power. But I heard that Kamala Smith was running and saw her background, was able to see her, and she'll be on the show shortly. I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it said to Dover, you're never in a position that's so powerful that you cannot be removed. And I think that's a message that should be sent to all of our state representatives, whether it be here in Wilmington, Newcastle, or wherever. You may be in the position today, you can't make broken promises, or you can't make promises that you immediately break. So to Kamala Smith, congratulations. You won over You passed the 50% mark, and you had 50. You did 54% of the vote. 1,453 people in our district voted for you. I was one of those 1,453 people, and the incumbent had 46% of the vote, and you did, and I'm very grateful for you, and I'm looking forward to working with you, and maybe we can do a class together where we could talk to the panel of council about coming together and not dividing, especially within our own camp, to give things away to other people. I know some people are just burning up and they're angry with me right now, and I'm fine with that. I'm enjoying this because while I sit back and I certainly do my job as the pastor of the church, I pay attention to the trajectory of what's happening to my people. And our people need leadership, not people who just can be bought and bossed. Let me move to the county exec. It was a joy. I did endorse Marcus Henry, and he did a phenomenal 60% of the vote he received. He received 32,408 votes. Congratulations, Marcus. He was on our show. Many of you saw him on the show. We've been in touch and contact because I believed he understood the mechanics working in the administration of the county. He understood the mechanics. And once again, the establishment lost, but the ground roots won. I'm proud of the county, Newcastle County, and how they have certainly worked and have elected Marcus Henry to be our next county executive. One more I want to talk about for just a moment, and that's the mayor for the city of Wilmington. I have received some concerns. People were asking, Pastor, we heard you endorse this candidate. We heard you endorse that candidate. We've been watching and following your trajectory, but we noticed you had not endorsed anybody for mayor. Well, let me now tell you what was going through my mind so no one will have to speculate. After almost 8 years of literal hell with the current mayor and his regime, I decided that for this election, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to be neutral. I'm not going to share who I'm supporting. I'm just going to be neutral because I represent people. If you all knew, we are now building houses here in South Bridge to ensure that our seniors have a safe, well-built housing so they can be happy in their latter days. The treatment I received from the city, from the mayor, its administrative staff, and some of the offices there is just egregious. You would think that I'm a Democrat, and if I decide to support another candidate, but when you win, you just be for all the citizens. Even the cutting of the street, I was charged at levels that other people was given that opportunity. Big developers were given things. So my people and I sat down and we said, what we're going to do is we're going to try to do this a little differently in order to deliver for our people, for the city, because that's where the church is located. We want to be a little bit more neutral so that whoever comes in, at least we can be able to sit down and talk with them. And we'll be able to share with them, things that we're doing and how we can help them and help the people that we represent. So I chose not to just endorse anyone, and not that I did not like Carney, not that I did not like Velda. I like both of them. Both of them have been very kind to Zion Fair. They've been very kind to me, both of them. Velda have showed up to things. She has helped. She's given personal money to some of the things that we've done. And John Carney has done so as well. My people did not want to mess up the relationship where we are with either of the two. And for the first time, I listened. I listened because when I went full force in, and I still am a supporter of Dennis Brother Dennis, Mayor Dennis. But when I went full in and I just basically supported him, that personal grudge from the mayor and his staff has not gone away. And I hope when John Carney goes into office, I hope he puts an end to this, because I'm going to call it out immediately. He did put some people around him in the governor. For the 8 years he served as governor, I stayed out of the way. I didn't ask the state for anything. I would talk to our representatives. I would talk more to Darius and ask him if he can help in this area. Can he help in that area? Because some of the representatives we have that represent the city, they have grudges too, black and white. But I purposefully have stayed out of his view, and I made sure, because I saw how this current mayor was treating us and treating the projects and things that we had moving forward. I'm very grateful for some of the people who have helped me with some of the things we got accomplished through the city. But his attitude, his people's attitude, I'm really going to be watching Carney as he started naming and allowing certain people to stay around. And I'm going to be one of the voices that's going to be very loud in the front end, because we should not be as hated people, who represent people. And that's one of the reasons why, if not the main reason why, I decided I'm not going to endorse anyone for mayor. So today I can easily just say congratulations to John Carney on his win, 54% of the vote. Velda received 46%. But this is the problem I'm still grappling with. In a city of 70,000 residents, it's concerning to me that only 9,873 people voted. That's not even 15% of the population. Are we sure we're getting the representation that we want? The level of people voting was just unbelievable. As a matter of fact, Carney won by 745 votes. That's a couple of blocks. I'm really concerned about us not voting. We need to vote. Maybe we would have never changed it. Maybe it wouldn't have changed the outcome. But we need to be voting. I was shocked that only 15% of the population in the city of Wilmington voted. That's crippling. And I hope that in the future, we'll do better at this. And again, I will say, we did not endorse for this one because we wanted to be able to work with whichever mayor came into the city's office and served as the mayor for this city. And I have a good relationship with both. I have a good working relationship with John Carney, and I have a good working relationship with Velda Potter. I hope and trust that she will be able to do something to continue to give back to the community. And I trust that John Carney will do what he needs to do in order to just look at the total city, not a certain segment, because one thing, you can cage the singer, but you cannot cage the song. The song on the sheet music is still going to be played. If people are being mistreated, if people are done wrong, I'm going to lift up my voice like a trumpet and cry loud. So I hope that as we move forward, we give our congratulations to John Carney with 54% of the vote. And we say we look forward to working with you. There's a lot yet to be done. Under an administration that hated our guts, we were able to do some powerful stuff, from building up the Wholeness Center to the new housing that we are now in the process of building. It's not no more vision, it's happening. And if we can accomplish all that we accomplished under a mayor who did not want anything to happen for us or his people, then I know under a leadership that is neutral, so much more can be done. Our people can be helped, and that's all we try to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back on some big time city elections and outcomes. And I'm excited because I'm still counting my tally. Is it the grassroots or is it the establishment winning? We'll be right back.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these two hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org.
Local news and politics in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. The latest headlines with your host, Dr. C.T. Curry.
But they get rich, getting new cars, getting new houses, getting new opportunities, but the community is still getting nothing.
And co-host Kobe Owens.
And from that time, we have slowly seen our democracy become under attack.
Weekly episodes. Sundays at 5 p.m. The Source. Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
We need volunteers, we need mentors, and we need sponsorship. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope. Go on our website, duffyshopeinc.org, and donate that way. You can call us at 302-652-3532. We can take your payment over the phone. You can mail us a check at 100 West 10th Street, Suite number 9, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Also, you can donate your time. If you don't have money, donate your time. Come help us with the garden. Help us mentor or help be a tutor, things like that. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope.
And we're back. We had a great first half. We were trying our best to just trying to talk a little bit about the various races that occurred, concerned with the panel council, and then also about the current mayor of the city of Wilmington. But now we have elected a new mayor, and I'm hoping and trust that he will certainly give his 100% to the whole constituency for the city of Wilmington. Well, let me now twist you down to the city council. And I know there were other races, but there's certain ones I just wanted to make sure I jumped into. And the first one I want to jump into is the city council at large. I endorsed 3 candidates, as you all know. Unfortunately, one of the 3 did not make it. And we're praying that, she continue to do the work that she does in the community and the surroundings. But 2 of them did. And I will say, Maria Cabrera, she succeeded. I mean, she survived this around, but I'm always looking at establishment versus grassroots. And the person with the largest amount of votes is one who will go into city council at large, and then the second largest, and then the third. Well, the one with the largest amount of votes was Letitia Tish Bracey. And I'm grateful. Her roots are right here in East Zion Fair. I'm grateful for her. Delaware State grad, great person. Looking forward to working with her in any way we can. You saw her on the show. But what I want to announce to all who are watching, Letitia didn't just get 5,952 votes, but she got 600 plus votes more than the mayor got, which is to say, she's here by popular demand. She was appointed, but now she's been elected, and a charge to keep she has now, and we look forward to her doing some great stuff. Miss Maria Cabrera, I just pray you did make it back, and we're going to hope we can work with you. But I pray that you really spend some time making sure the soul searching is going on, and that you really work for the people, because I'm going to be watching, and there are other people who are going to be watching. And as we're watching, we're going to be calling it out. And we're not going to wait until election year to call it out. We're going to recap during election year. But we're going to call it out because we feel that we have to be represented. But the third person who came in third place with 20% of the vote, and that's Alex Hackett. I am happy for my young brother, another HBCU friend. What I believe, after we get finished with all the slate, with this level of competence, with this level of grassroots, I believe the trajectory of city council can twist and turn to another way. Not to become combative and decisive, but really it can turn to really put Wilmington back on the map. Put it back to a place where everybody matters. Every community matters. I thought this was great. And if we wanted to see whether or not the grassroots or the establishment was winning, this was a good example. The grassroots is still winning. In the first district, here's the grassroots, here's the establishment. You had a person, I don't say names because that's not important to me, but it's hard to be the incumbent. But the incumbent ended up having less votes than all 3 candidates. They really wanted him out. And I want to say congratulations to Brother Kobe Owens, who is a co-host with us, who won. Now, he won by 8 votes. For those of you who say my vote doesn't matter, your vote matters. He won by 8 votes against the establishment, because we know who set her up to run. We understand the whole dynamics of it. One of the reasons why Valerie Longhurst is not in her position anymore is because it's the behind the scene politics that goes on. The FOP tried to stop Kobe once again. The FOP put out all kind of stuff against Kobe, but he won. Grassroots won again. And I want to say to the first district, thank you. Thank you for seeing something in him beyond the lies and the propagandas that occurred through other people's eyes. You're going to see a young man at work for his community, for his first district, I think is going to be great and is going to be swell. We say congratulations to Sinead Darby, who won her election handily, 60% of the vote over there in the 2nd district. Congratulations to you and to the folks that you are representing in the 2nd district. We want to say congratulations to Xanthia Oliver, who won her district, 71% of the vote over there in the 3rd district. Our person did not have a person run against her. She's doing such a great job that I guess nobody decided they wanted to come up against her. In the 5th district, interesting. In the 5th district, interesting. I said to you that it's kind of difficult to get rid of an incumbent, but in the 5th district, Kristen Willer, I hope I said her name right, she won 52%, ousting the incumbent. Grassroots, it seems like it's taking root, and all I'm saying is, I'm looking at the city council now, and I'm saying, it looks like we can work together. It looks like we can make some stuff happen. It's not about me. It's about the people. And I hope that, Trippy is going to still be the city council president, and the others who are remaining, who did not have anybody really running against them, I hope that they will come together, put a retreat together, and say, how are we going to push forward an agenda that's centered around the people? We need construction in this city. We need buildings and we need affordable housing. We need stuff to help our homeless and and those who are mentally disturbed. We need that help. The city council can set that tone with the new mayor. And I think we're going to be all right. Let's not be bought. Let's make sure we ask the tough questions, because I believe that it's going to be a better day for Wilmington. To all of you who watched us today, the whole goal was not to be just talking, but to show you that the question I raised was so important. Can I tell you what the question was? Who will win? Will the grassroots or would the establishment? Well, I'm here to announce to everyone, the grassroots movement won. The people are tired of politics as usual. The people are tired of puppets. The people are tired of people just doing what they want to do after being elected. I want to send a strong word of caution to all of our state representatives. You have an obligation. Your obligation is to represent your people. Now, something that Stephanie Bolden said, I want to read and agree with. When we're down in Dover, when they're down in Dover, sure, you have to agree, you have to compromise in order to get things done. That was one of the things I was trying when I was tutoring even Shanae. I was trying to say, listen, don't be so dogmatic about your position that you fail to understand your people need you to produce for them. We have to work together. We have to work together. Personal differences is what it is. Those of you who watched the debate on Tuesday night, Kamala Harris showed us what it looks like to take a thing to a hole and not go down there with him, but allow him to go in it himself. We have to stop being combative just to be combative. You're not strong because you raise your voice. You're not strong because you can point out other people's deficiencies. You are strong because you can be effective. So I say to all of those who watch me every week, it's not a time for a lecture, but it's time for us to wake up. Because the next time somebody is placed to run against you, they might just win. And if they win, you won't be there anymore. Produce. I look at some of the people. Sherry Dorsey Walker did so much legislation, and she's done well. But that was a setup. She's not done. There's a whole lot more getting ready to start happening. She's going to be fine. I look at Bolden and even, you don't hear me talking much about Darius because, he tries to stay out of the limelight. He tries to stay under the fray. And I understand all of that. I mean, you got to do that in this day because people are always trying to cut your head off. But that young brother produced so much so quickly. I mean, to the point where people were trying to find a way to get him. And my hat goes off to him. And even though sometimes he burns me up about stuff, I always give him his respect because when he was in charge, he took care of his people. He did what was needed, not to say that he didn't support, a certain race, or he did what was needed that the communities that he represented was taken care of. No one can say that while he was in charge of especially the finances and on those committees, that his people did not get everything they needed. Everybody else get what they want. I am paying attention, and I'm grateful that the Grassroots has won. Now send the message, Grassroots. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Let us not be in a big fight against each other once we get to City Hall come January. Or let us not be in a big fight once we get into the county. Let us now move forward together, everybody. And let's pull ourselves together and build a better Wilmington. I think we can do better. I know that we are better. And I hope the time that we shared together today have been profitable for you. My goal was to really set the tone of the Grassroots movement. One, I wanted that to be the message. That you don't have to be a part of the establishment. You don't have to go along to get along. You don't have to laugh when nothing is funny. I prove it over here at East Zion Fair. I was put out on the limb. People calling themselves preachers and pastors. They don't want to be around me. They don't want to be near me because I'm toxic to them because I can't be bought. A Grant can't keep me quiet. He's too much. But when you have produced what we have produced without selling your soul to the devil, then there needs to be some sessions taught. And I beg you who are elected officials, don't sell us out. Don't sell us out. But what I want you to do is I want you to lift up yourselves, lift the community that you're representing up, present the issues, and let's get it done. Until the next time we get together, may the Lord God bless you real good.
Thank you for watching this episode of Coffee with Curry. Tune in next week, Sunday at 11 a.m.